one day that like this thing had become what this machine is supposed to be doing is like creating like these kidneys, like the guy like the driver was talking about, his wife got the fake kidney. It worked, you know, and he said no, it worked. You know what I mean? God bless her soul.
They're doing some type of artificial kind of kidney now too. I've been looking into that. I'm not sure about it yet, so I want to keep digging more research, so I'll keep you guys up to date on that too.
Yeah, but there's like so many routes that they're looking to correct this. It just hopefully in 5 years from now, there's probably won't even be a you know, there probably won't even be dialysis at one point at those cases.
Yeah.
It'd just be a waiting situation. It's like, all right, you're on dialysis, you know, and in 3 months you're going to have surgery, we're going to put this kidney in you, and then.
And it'll work fine.
Yeah, you know,
no rejections, like no nothing.
That's
I know it'll come to that eventually, but.
Yeah, it'll eventually be that, because like the
But then with the politics, that's the other end of it.
Yeah.
Which is what we're doing the research on right now and stuff, and Jeff Park is.
Yeah. And he's got a lot of good information out there. I mean, like the stuff I've read over the last couple of weeks and go through his like page, just mind blowing. You know, I'm like, wow, so I kind of thought of that. And, like, there's really people going out doing it. You know what I mean? Like chasing down these politicians. You know, that are supposed to be advocating for us. I think he was like, they're the only politicians that have advocated for us that have more people dying than are alive.
Which is wild.
You know, dying on a chair. You know, because the chair's like, you know, the chair in dialysis and the transplant is not a cure. All it is transplant is it's another form of treatment besides dialysis.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you still got a time limit on it, anywhere between 10, 15, but you got those outliers that, you know, go 20, 30, 40 years. You know, you're going to have outliers in everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
But still, it's just
everybody's body's different, you know?
You're still going to have to, it's still just a treatment, because you're still going to have to take anti-rejection meds. You know, you're going to be changing.
She still jams out. I love it.
You're still going to have the anti-rejection meds to deal with. You know?
Yeah, for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you know, it's like, you know, how you're going to deal with that. And like some of the research I've done is like some people got the transplant but didn't like the anti-rejection meds. They would rather they stayed with the dialysis machine, you know, but it's so much back and forth, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good thought too.
You know, like they couldn't take it, but I think they passed a law this year now that Medicaid stays with you forever the rest of your life to pay for the anti-rejection meds. Because I think like a couple of years ago, you only had coverage for 2 years, and then you had to come up with a way to pay for the anti-rejection meds.
Really?
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah, you had to go back to work. You had to get a good insurance program to pay for it.
That's insane.
Yeah, because there's no way you could pay for it out of pocket.
Hell no.
You know, that's why they just recently, I think last year.
I'm glad they did that.
Passed that, where you're allowed to keep the Medicare after the transplant to pay for the anti-rejection meds on there. And I think they gave you a 2-year window after that on there. You know.
Sorry, I'm not stopping this. I'm just writing something.
Right. You know, that was the other thing. I was like, you know, I don't like taking these pills as is. You know, I mean,
right.
That's the other thing. You know, and the other thing is understanding what you're taking. You know, that's one thing I've been working on this last couple of weeks, is trying to understand what they're giving me. You know, as far as like, you know, the kidney medicine, diabetes medicine, the what do you call it, high blood pressure medicine, the depression medicine. You know, it's like, you know, I take meds 5:30 in the morning, 8 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and then nighttime. You know.
Right.
And like it's a nursing home you're at, like sometimes you get them on time.
Yeah, exactly.
And
you don't know when you're gonna get
chase them down, and you know, it just, I don't know if it's a particular nursing home I'm in, but
no, it's not. Don't worry.
It's probably
everyone.
Yeah, it's
like I said, I've been to 4 different ones in 3 years.
Yeah.
But like that's crazy. I've been going to nursing homes since I was 29 years old.
Oh wow.
That is so young.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
And I'm in there with like 100-year-old people.
Yeah, we're like the great grandkids, you know. Yeah, it's just, it's crazy, you know.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I do try to do my best
You know.
and help everybody I can, but sometimes I gotta focus on me.
Yeah.
And that's a big part of this disease too. Focus on everything. Your levels, your blood work, your food intake, your water, your liquid intake,
And that's a big
everything.
battle too with diabetes. You gotta, you know.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah,
And
but
we were
not
just
too
saying
hydrated.
this.
Yeah.
It's a catch-22. Meaning even, you know what kills your kidneys? Insulin, which we need in order to live as a diabetic. Most of us, at least. Some people take the sugar pills though.
Yeah.
But still, that ruins your kidneys.
Yeah.
But you need it to survive. Just like you need dialysis to survive, but it fucks up seizures and then your teeth and then
Yeah.
everything. Your eat appetite, your memory, foggy brain. Like, it's crazy.
And that I've definitely been affected with a lot lately, is the foggy brain and not remembering stuff. You know, I've
I
definitely.
know, you definitely have been.
Yeah, that I've noticed it. Well, before it used to be a joke, like, okay, maybe it is. When you come to notice it yourself, you're like, wow, I really not remembering to do this or that, you know. But it's like with the dialysis stuff, it helps you, but it's supposed to keep you alive. But I don't know how it is, but I'd like to know if anybody could put in the comments if their experience lately. Lately, I've noticed is like
Both of us have been.
So you go to dialysis, you come home within an hour, like I'm out cold.
But we have to make sure we eat before.
Yeah. Like I've been able to try and eat. I've been able to eat most times, but if I don't eat, that's when I'll wake up with the sweats.
Yeah.
When I'll bottom out and everything. But still.
And that's scary when you're in your sleep because some people don't feel it.
Yeah, don't wake up. You know. I'll wake
Because
up.
I've seen him got shipped out multiple times in this nursing home
Yeah.
for bottoming out.
Yeah. You know,
But they wanted to assume it was from other things.
Yeah, the first month I was here, they Narcan me 4 times.
I was so mad that he did that.
And each time that I went out, I went to hospitals, my sugar is bottom out because they gave me too much insulin. And they would never understand. They were like, I remember the ambulance people arguing with them, like, oh, you give Narcan 2 nights in a row. So if it doesn't work the first time, it's not going to work the second time. Did you check the sugar or anything? And they didn't. So when I checked my sugar, it was like 10, you know what I mean? And they were like, no, you got to give sugar. So each time it was a sugar event, and then finally when I came back after the 4th time,
I'm like, always eat something, Tim.
I got to eat, and the problem was when I first got here, I didn't know you had to stack your own food here. I was relying on the food that came out of the kitchen, and at that time it was horrible. Like I couldn't eat it.
And you don't even get like sometimes they do snacks, but like you have to provide for yourself.
Yeah.
And then you're working off $50 a month.
Yeah. Which hopefully within the next month or so they're gonna up it up to at least $140.
I know, and then give us that back
Yeah,
pay too.
the
I hope
back pay
so.
on it for a year. Hopefully, fingers crossed that comes through. Because that's a big thing too. If you use that to pay for your snacks or whatever, you can get for the month. Because trust me, that food that comes out of that kitchen is not what you think it is.
It's
And it's
at
not what you
all.
think. You
Unless
pay
you've
for.
been to a place
Yeah.
that's similar.
For what we pay and put into it, it's not marrying up to what we get.
Absolutely not.
I don't care if it's government regulated or whatever, it's not. what we should
And
get.
comment too if you're going through this same thing because we can make a movement on this as well.
Yeah, if anybody.
There's multiple places where we can be making movements on.
Yeah.
And we want to get to that point.
Like if there's anybody out there that's going through the same thing we are, living in a nursing home and like trying to work their way out of it. If there's anybody that's living in a nursing home doing dialysis, please comment in there and let us know so that we can communicate with you and see how you're doing it. how
Yeah,
you're
and even if you're in the dumps and trying to give up, we can help you.
Yeah.
We
yeah,
can cheer you up. There's more to life than this.
Yeah, there's gotta be.
And we're still here for a reason. The universe kept us here for a reason.
I'm a believer in that, we don't go through.
I manifest stuff, so I'm a universe person, so.
Yeah, I'm kind of starting to believe in that. I used to be a pessimist about that, but now I'm like, you know what? We you don't go through this much shit for no reason, you know what I mean?
Like, we met for a reason.
Yeah.
You knew my whole family for a reason.
And I still think that, I don't know if I ever told anybody that got here about that yet, but that was like the first day I met her. Like, I was here, I think 2 weeks before you came. And like, I was in the crap. I mean, I was like, not even talking to anybody, just in my head.
Yeah, you were hiding in the corner over
Yeah,
there.
I was just,
I rolled right up to him.
yeah, she's like knocking on the door, and all I heard was hello. I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, I see your name on the door. Are you from here? So and so. I was like, yeah. And she's like, oh, you know, I'm a fan. We knew, but what really made me, like, you know, us like click, I think, was when you see you're on dialysis.
Yeah,
That's what really got me. You know, it's like, all right, you know.
because somebody got it.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Like, so, to me, it's like.
Because I never met, like, somebody. I mean, I talked to the people at dialysis,
Yeah.
but not like that.
Yeah.
Like, living with them. Because
Yeah.
we technically lived together. Yeah. So,
And I would see her fight. You know,
and we were, our rooms were
yeah,
two
right
rooms
around the
away.
corner. Right around
two
the
rooms
corner.
away, yeah.
And but just like the fight she would have in her, and I was like, you know what, man? I said, maybe I can do this. You know, maybe there is a way. And that's what happened. We started looking out for each other. Like, and I would go Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. She would go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we make sure when you got back, you know, she'd always be like, did you eat? You gonna sleep? You gonna lay down? We're like, yeah. And I'd be
You know
like,
what
yeah.
made me want to live though? Oakley.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
I gotta be there. My niece, you'll hear about her.
Yeah. You know, and that's true. You know, and you got the necklace too for it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a reminder. You know what I mean? Like for me, it was Emily. You know what I mean? And it's just like,
We gotta fight.
yeah, they're
Not
like
just. I mean, yeah. Granted, we have to fight for them, but we have to fight for ourselves too.
and we are. You know,
We gotta fight for our right
right
to party.
Okay,
Okay, not party, but
you know, but we got to fight to keep going strong, and we are. You know what I mean? And like, you know, it just this is something I would have. If you would have asked me 5 years ago, if this is where I would have been, this is what I've been doing, this is what I've been I've been living. No, I would have never mentioned thought this. You know, I would have thought I would have got. To be honest with you, I thought I would have got the Widowmaker by then. You know what I mean? The way I was working.
the what?
The Widowmaker.
What's that?
That's the major heart attack you don't come back from.
Oh wow.
That's what I thought. Like I was with diabetes. I had diabetes. You know, just a lot of stuff going on. That's what I thought I was.
That's scary.
That's what I thought I was going to be.
Have you ever had a heart attack?
Yeah.
You had?
I had 2 heart attacks when I first got sick.
2?
Yeah. Same night.
God, Jesus.
That's what they put out. Then the next morning they put the stint in me.
Well, between you and me and my life support,
Yeah. I mean that was it was.
it takes a lot out of you. And I know this happens to a lot of dialysis warriors, so.
You know, that's how my journey started. It was.
But you got there. And look at you now. You're doing better than I am. He's walking better than me now.
Yeah, exactly. I refuse to get stuck in that chair.
That's what I'm going to start doing. I took advice from him. I'm going to start walking more
That's the
around
last
my
thing you wanna
nursing
do is sit
home.
in that chair, you know, that's the last thing I want. That, especially at my age.
That's what
Wow,
Donna
I'm too
said.
close.
She goes, he's doing his laps.
Yeah,
She's like, all he does is walk.
you know, like if I feel like.
That's smart though.
Yeah, it's, I do not want to get stuck in that chair. I don't, you know, I want to be able to walk out of here, you know what I mean, saying, all right, I'll do it.
And the stronger we are, the stronger we're going to be on our own.
Yeah. That's
Not on our own technically, like obviously with a caretaker, but
Yeah.
we're going to be able to be more independently.
Yeah. Than we are now. I
Yeah.
just don't want to be.
Because when I was at home, all I did was sit on that heating pad. Because I wasn't on pain medication though at the time, like, so like, for now it's working, so
Now with the pain that he can help your back or something?
absolutely, it's the only thing that helped it.
Oh, really?
Or get in the hot shower, that's why I would take like 5 showers a day.
Oh, wow.
But then my mom would be like, Emery, you're cooking yourself from the heating pad. She's like, you're cooking yourself from the inside out, even though I wasn't, but it's the only thing that helped.
Did you try baths?
Well, and then I got into the edibles, so, but we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah, that's another thing, you know, with a lot of people on here is with dialysis or with kidney failure itself, is the marijuana usage nowadays. You know?
Only from dispensaries, though.
Yeah, dispensaries only, because you don't even know what's out there in the streets.
No, and they're putting fentanyl in everything.
It's all
Even nicotine vapes.
you
So
know,
if you're a vapor as well, check it out.
yeah, I mean, just make sure you get it from like, what do they call them, dispensaries now?
Yeah.
Get, like, it's worth that extra tax for safety.
It is, definitely is.
But my question is, though, to the dialysis warriors out there is, like, which do you prefer, like the gummies, smoke, or the vape? You know, like everybody has their preferences. you know what I
Absolutely,
mean?
yeah. Or just straight up blunts or joints or bongs, you know, dabs, you know, there's so
Yeah.
many types of you know, I found out too, they have marijuana in drinks now, but you buy them at the liquor store, there's no alcohol in them, but it's straight marijuana. And it's super strong. My stepsister drinks it, and she was telling me about it. I was gonna give it a try one time.
I'm curious. I mean, I'm curious about all the way like all the stuff works now. It's just like I'm new to all of it. Like
Yeah.
vape and this, that, and the other thing. But I have taken the gummies before, and I gotta say they help.
They work, and they give you an appetite.
Yes.
Like, it's very beneficial, but then at the same time, like, if you're leaning into a kidney transplant, I know they drug test you, so you do have to quit, which I'm totally fine with.
Yeah.
So,
But they say I'm not too sure, but not 100%.